This course, I'll be teaching you the basics of Unity. First of all, we'll download this amazing game engine, and once that's done, we'll take a look at how to create projects and scenes, save and load them, as well as make folders to organize our project. Then we'll learn how to navigate the Unity interface, create objects and manipulate those, talk about the hierarchy and the inspector, as well as take a look at components and understand what they are and what they do. You'll be using these fundamental basics during your entire game dev career using Unity, so pay close attention, but most importantly, have fun and get excited. With every video that you watch, you're getting closer to being able to make your very own games. And don't worry if you don't understand something or are confused, just keep at it, keep trying to learn and understand, and I promise it will all make sense eventually. And of course, don't hesitate to ask questions via the course's Discord server, so me, Liam, or some other member of this community can try helping you out or clarify something. With that said, see you in the next video. Hey everyone, so first things first, before we can start learning how to code and create games, we need to download our game engine. As you know, we'll be using Unity 2018 throughout this course, and note that almost everything we will be showing works with older versions of Unity. Even with later versions, this course will still be more than fine for you to use and learn from. With that said, let's download this amazing game engine that will help us bring our worlds, stories, and games to life. To do so, I'm going to head over to the Unity store by typing up here store.unity.com. There we will be greeted by 3 download options. These 2 will allow you to download Unity for a certain price. You'll need to do so if you want to use this game engine for serious commercial projects, like releasing a game to Steam for example, and earning with that game more than $100,000 per year. But since you're just starting out your game creation journey, it's completely fine and recommended that you try out Unity Personal, which gives you access to the game engine for free. And guess what? Almost all of the features and tools found inside of the paid versions are also in this free version. Except of course the fact that you can't use Unity Personal if you make a lot of money off your project. So I'm just going to click this Try Personal button that will bring me to another page. And from here I can click this little box to agree with Unity's terms of service rules. Now I can download Unity. If you've got a Windows computer, then obviously download the Windows version by clicking on this button right here, which reads Download Installer for Windows. If you're using a Mac, simply click this blue link, and the button will no longer read Download Installer for Windows, but will state Download Installer for Mac OS X. And of course simply click the blue link again to swap back to Windows. So once you click the button to download the Windows or Mac version of Unity, you can run the installer, which is very straightforward. And soon you'll get to this Choose Component step. Here you're basically choosing what extra features and builds you want to download with Unity. So for example, if you want to be able to launch the games you make with Unity to Mac or Windows, then make sure to check the Mac and Windows build support boxes. I'm going to check Mac, Windows, and Web, which will allow us to create games that can be played directly inside of a browser like Chrome or Firefox. I'll also want to download all of Unity's documentation. But of course, if you want to make a game for mobile or tablet, make sure to also check the iOS and or Android build supports. That's completely up to you. Then you can click Next, choose a location in your folders for where you want to download and install the Unity files, and there we go, Unity will start installing itself. It's as easy as that. And so in the next video we will take our very first steps inside of Unity. There we'll learn how to create projects and scenes. Now though creating games can be magical, fun and fulfilling, it can also be tough, complex and frustrating at times. Just know that if you stick to it and don't give up, you will get there in the end and be able to create the amazing games you have in your mind. Try and remember that when learning from this course, that you are taking a step closer in bringing a game to life. Okay, see you soon. Cheers. Hi everyone, so in this video we're going to learn how to create projects and save and load scenes. So when Unity has finally finished being installed on your PC or Mac, you'll obviously be able to open it up by double clicking on the Unity icon. Doing so will open up this simple looking window. The most important one for us currently is this button here, which will let us create a brand new Unity project. And then we need to do some very straightforward things, such as give a name to the project. I'll call it Udemy Game, the location in our folders for where we want to save this project, and last important setting, the template. In other words, do we want to create a 2D or 3D game? Now don't worry too much about this 2D or 3D setting. You can always change this later on directly inside of Unity. But I'm going to choose 2D, since we will be making later on in this course a simple but fun 2D game. But again, so much of what will be shown in the following videos applies for 3D as well. Once you're happy with these settings, simply hit Create Project, and Unity will create a new project for you. And so there you have it. Welcome to the Unity game engine. You'll be spending a lot of time here, and don't worry, it's really not that complex. It's an extremely creative, intuitive tool that will allow you to make awesome things. Now of course we'll be talking about what all these various buttons and windows do throughout this section of the course. But for now, let's simply understand how to create and load scenes. Now what are scenes? Well, they can basically act as levels filled with monsters and loot, main menus, or win or lose splash screens, and so much more really. When you create a new project, Unity automatically creates a new scene in this folder called Scenes, which you can open up by simply double clicking on it. The default scene is called Sample Scene, and you can rename it if you like by double clicking on this icon slowly, or left clicking on it and choosing Rename. For example, I'll call it Tutorial Scene. Now, for example, see this small camera icon right here? Well, I'll select it and move it a bit to the right. Of course, I'll be talking about how to move objects and so on in future videos. For now, just pay attention to the fact that the camera was here and now it's here. If I double click quickly on my Tutorial Scene icon now, I'll be able to open it up again, basically reload it. Doing so, we'll get a pop-up appearing though, asking whether we would like to save our changes before reloading the scene again. If I hit save, my camera's new position will be saved. If not, it will return to its default position. So I'll choose save, and indeed, once the scene reloads itself, everything I did in that scene, which in this case was moving the game's camera, has been saved. I can now move the camera again, and the shortcut to quickly save a scene in Unity is Ctrl S. Note that you can also save scenes by heading over to File, Save Scene. Awesome, let's now create another scene. We can do so by heading down to this large empty space, left clicking and choosing Create Scene. I'll call this second scene Tutorial Scene 2 for example, and then I'll double click on it to open it up. And here you'll see that I get a brand new scene with a new camera right at the center. This time I'll select that camera and change its color to some deep red. Again, don't worry about what I'm doing, and I'll now hit Ctrl S to save my changes. With that done, I can easily open up any scene in my game by just double clicking fast on either scene icon. So I can open up the Tutorial Scene 1 with the slightly moved camera, or Tutorial Scene 2 with its deep red backgrounds. Note that you can also open up scenes by heading over to File, Open Scene, and then in your projects folders, search for a scenes folder, which again was automatically created by Unity when you made a new project. So double click on that, and then double click on which scene you would like to open up. Okay, before wrapping up this video, let me now close Unity. I'll reopen it now, and you'll see that I can easily open up my project again by clicking on the projects button up here and choosing my Udemy game project. Listed here are basically all the previous projects I've been working on. Oh, and before I forget, you can change your project to being 3D or 2D by also going to Edit, Project Settings, Editor, and then right over here you can simply change it to 2D or 3D. Now this doesn't change that much, and you can easily create an entire 3D game with this set to 2D, but it will tweak a few tools and features to make your life easier. And again, we're going to make a 2D game in this course, so I'll leave it at 2D. Great, with that said, I'll see you in the next video.